executive or a leader within the cybersecurity space, you really need to have a plan, a 3-year plan or a 3-year roadmap on how you're going to implement the security program, fill gaps, mitigate risk, et cetera. Really have a plan on how you're going to implement tools, platforms, technologies in a comprehensive manner, right? Gone are the days of having disparate tools, hoping that they interact with each other in a good manner, hoping that you can integrate data in a way that is digestible, right? You really have to put some forethought into planning and how you're going to implement platforms now, right? The capabilities are expansive, and you have entire platforms like Palo Alto that can do several different technologies, and then you have best of breed where they may focus on one specific item. And if you don't plan to integrate those at the forefront, you may have a disparate program moving forward. And so, to me, I think one of the most important things that you can do is really plan out what you're going to do with those tools and platforms. Make sure that you're not implementing duplicative tools or capabilities, and really leveraging the licenses that you already have. And or if you're going to be implementing capabilities, right, make sure that it's a good fit for your organization. I think we all too often take use cases from companies that are trying to sell you something and say, yeah, that sounds like a great tool to fit those use cases, but really, how does it fit your use cases, right? What problems am I trying to meet, not what the company is trying to meet for me, right? You really need to figure that out for yourself. And then secondly, when you have that roadmap, you really need to make that roadmap transparent to the executives, whether it be the board of directors for you or your executive leadership that's going to be paying the bills and helping you implement that. They need to really understand what you're trying to do, how you're trying to do it, how much it's going to cost, and what the level of effort is associated with that. You can get all the data in the world from every platform you have. But if you can't correlate that data into something that's timely and actionable and really give you transparency into what's happening in your network or in your environments, you're going to fail, right? You're going to fail to catch the bad guys or the threats in your environment. And I think for me, that is probably the biggest challenge we have right now within the industry is you have great tools out there, but they don't necessarily interface well with each other, or they provide an API, but it's on you to go build the APIs into the other platforms that you have to pull the right data. And if you're a smaller company, you don't have the resources to be able to do that. And so, for me, we really need to take the security tools that we have and mature them in a way that allows better interfaces with each other, allows you to better take that data in a structured manner so that way you can display it in a way that you need, correlate the data that you need. And in fact, I was talking to a vendor earlier today, in fact, just right before this meeting, where we were talking risk scores, right? And how they have this great risk score. And I was like, that's great that you have a risk score, but then also Splunk provides a risk score, Tenable provides a risk score. Everybody has their own risk score, and it's all different, right? It's all different metrics that they're pulling from. How do I take all of those risk scores and compile them into something that's actionable, right? Do I believe one vendor over another? Do I take one risk score over another? I mean, what's even in that risk score, right? It's all proprietary. So I don't know. So I don't know which one's more valid. And I think we're kind of in this information overload right now where I have all of this data, but I don't know what to do with it. Within cybersecurity, what's important for us is that it changes the threat landscape for us, right? It's now easier for attackers to develop tools, exploits, phishing campaigns utilizing AI. And, unfortunately for us, we're kind of behind the power curve. And, products are coming out, but they're not necessarily polished yet. And ChatGPT, in and of itself, can generate some very polished phishing campaigns right now, right? And so, for us, we almost have to fight AI with AI. I think that's the only way that cybersecurity is going to be able to fight fire with fire, right? You have to be able to take AI and turn it upon itself, because the more humans you have in that process, the more chances you have of missing something, the more lag time you're going to have, the more chances you are going to miss something. There's just more uncertainty when you have that human aspect. So when you add AI, you add automation, you add machine learning, you add those tools within cybersecurity, you can really kind of counteract that speed. I think quantum computing is, still early. I think AI, we're really moving forward on that, and I think that's really going to change the cybersecurity landscape and how we approach things. I think you're going to see a lot of products that are going to come out with accelerated machine learning and AI integration, and I think that's good for us, right? The more I can take the data overload that I mentioned earlier and correlate it into something that's actionable and timely, which AI and machine learning is absolutely, we can leverage those capabilities to develop that information for us. Um, I think we're going to see accelerated automation with those, and I think that's a good thing for us. In line with that, I think you're also going to see more platforms because integration of disparate data sources is hard. And so Palo is really kind of the first to come out to say, hey, use our platform, use our ecosystem. And, and what they've developed is something that's pretty comprehensive that allows you to leverage the data that it collects. And I think it's important to kind of work outside of what traditionally you know and have worked on in the past to keep up on the different skills and other platforms that are out there. So if you're, a SME in AWS, go and start working in Azure, right? And kind of get some depth to your skills. And I think the biggest thing, funny enough, what I think is missing is that business side of things for cybersecurity. I think in a lot of ways we focus on the cybersecurity and the security aspects of it, but we miss the business aspects of it. And I think I see that more and more as I moved up the ladder. And now that I'm a CISO, I see that it's even more important than ever to really understand the business and where you're going with your cybersecurity program to make sure that you're not hindering them, that you are enabling the business, that you are removing those roadblocks for people that are actually doing the work. I think if you're looking to get into cyber, again, there's a ton of free classes out there. AWS offers free classes that you can learn that can get you into cyber. Security Plus is obviously like the kind of like starting point for cybersecurity certifications. But as you kind of move up the chain, certs are great, but hands-on experience is better, right? Certs just validates that you know certain information, but really hands-on experience, really getting down and dirty with the tools, and even just creating, say, like a virtualized environment at your house to play with the tools that allow you to speak to it a little bit, to me shows that you're willing to take the initiative and learn yourself. And I'm not having to hand feed you or force feed you to go out there and do training, right? I need those self starters, those people that are willing to go out and keep up on that training. Because I'll tell you right now, cybersecurity is one of those career fields where if you blink, you're going to be out of date, right? You're already behind everybody else, right? You really have to keep up on it. And it's just ever increasing.